So today on the touchdown with Aaron Masemola, we are talking all things netball, and I think it's really special to talk about a different sporting code in South Africa that doesn't always get the praise and the acknowledgement that it actually needs. And netball is such a special sport to so many young and old ladies throughout South Africa. We are talking to a former South African netball player who's played for the past 12 years for South Africa, and most importantly, we've seen her in the center position for South Africa, and one has to admit that that's a critical position in the sport of netball as well. Her name is Erin Burger. Erin, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm doing very well. I hear that you start your mornings with a cup of coffee. How important is your cup of coffee in the morning?
Um, well, it's just something I really like, so it feels like I'm awake if I have my first cup of coffee, and then the day can start. Otherwise, it feels like the day is starting really slow. So yeah, it's not a, but it's just a nice to have.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. Just that caffeine boost in the morning, which is important to so many of us. Now, Erin, I would love to get into your journey in terms of where you actually started with the sport of netball. When's that moment when you picked up that netball and you started playing and you realized that, you know what, I think I can actually do this?
Well, I have an older brother, and he's 4 years older than me, and I used to play with a ball since really young. And my parents also we like being outside and just being active and outdoors. So I remember my first match being an 8-year-old, and I think it kind of looked like a rugby game. I just remember this one moment where we all dived onto the ball, and I just knew I had to get the ball. So the rules and the technical part only came later, but I feel like I've loved sport since the day I was born, or as young as I can remember. Just love being active, and I'm really competitive. So um, I was glad that I could start netball at a young age, and yeah, I really just loved it from the start.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. And in terms of your family, how important have they been? You mentioned your brother there, because sometimes as an athlete, especially at a professional level, you do need that additional support along the way. How have they supported you in your journey?
Definitely. I've said this so many times in so many interviews that if I didn't have the support system that I have, I wouldn't have been able to perform or play in such a, I want to say, long career. Because there's a lot of sacrifice and there's a lot of ups and downs, and I think people from the outside only see the ups, and they don't realize the behind the scenes things that's really tough and that gets you down. And I feel really blessed that my family really supports me, and I feel that God really sent great people on my path to actually guide me and help me and make me a better player and a better person. So I'm very grateful for my support system and its friends, where I get to train. It's my parents. I'm really blessed. Yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. I love what you mentioned there, supporting you on your journey and supporting you on your path. Now, there's one thing that really stands out for me, and that's the amazing career that you had with the Proteas as well. But I would like to hear a little bit about your journey when you started playing in high school at Waterkloof and when you made your way all the way up to the Proteas. Tell us a little bit more about the journey, some of the challenges that you maybe had to encounter.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people think it's only like downhill, or you feel like it should be like that. But I remember in grade 11, it was really a tough year for me. So I was in Waterkloof, like you just mentioned, and we got the opportunity. If you wanted to play provincials, you had to go for the Gauteng trials. And that year, my whole team got selected except me. I wasn't selected in any team. And I remember going through all that emotions, and I thought I was going to stop playing netball then. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because if I look back at it now, like what a bad decision would that have been. And I feel like sometimes the younger players face a challenge and then they back out, and they don't really. Like I remember, I had two choices there. I could stop playing, or I needed to be so good that they can't not select me again. So I needed to work harder. And I don't think you would change your mindset if you just get it easy all the way. And I think a lot of youngsters, they feel like talent will get you all the way. But sorry to be honest, but talent's only going to get you that far. Then you have to put in the extra hard work and the sacrifice to actually be better than someone that's also has, like everyone has talent. So, yeah.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. You're such an incredibly powerful message in terms of talent is not enough for you to make it to the highest level. But the one thing that you did at a very high level is representing the Proteas at a young age of 19. And I mean, you mentioned your challenges in grade 11, and then a few years later, you're playing for the Proteas already. And that was in Birmingham against the Roses. Tell us a little bit about what was going through your mind. Wat het jy gevoel in daai oomblik? En mees belangrik, was jy dalk so klein bietjie senuweeagtig?
Ja, yes, ek dink dit was sommer 'n kombinasie van klomp goed op een slag. Ek kan onthou ek het in die stadion ingeloop en ek het net so rondgekyk en ek was so, hier's regtig baie mense. So in Suid-Afrika kom kyk jy maar jou ouma en miskien jou tannie en daar sit hier so hele, dis net 'n paviljoen vol skade mense en hulle het rooi vlaggies en ek weet nie wat als nie. En ek kan onthou ek was so, yes, embrace hierdie moment en die adrenalien, my hart het sommer vinnig geklop en die hele gevoel was so lekker. En toe sê ek okay, moenie dat dit jou nou soos oorweldig nie, jy moet nou fokus, jy het 'n werk om te doen. Maar ek wou net so half in daai moment bly en dit net soos 'n spons invat en net geniet. Want mens droom oor sulke goed. En ek kan onthou toe ek so op die bench sit, toe dink ek nog van myself soos die meisie teen wie ek my eerste cap gespeel het, 42 toetse al gehad, so sy was nogal redelik ervare. En toe ek net onthou as ons op die baan stap, dan is ons nie iets soos ouderdom nie. Soos op die baan gaan sy nou nie dink, shame, ek voel nou jammer, hierdie enetjie is jonk nie. Soos op daai baan is ons equal. En soos sy moet dink, ek het 'n harde wedstryd gehad, kompetisie is aan. Ek gaan nie terughou omdat ek jonk is nie, want ek wil amper sê as mens jonk is mens so gutsy, jy's bang vir niks. So ek dink dit was my mindset net soos, jy gaan nie terughou nie, sy gaan nie jou jammer kry nie. Niemand gaan van die crowd gaan kyk en dink, shame, sy's jonk nie. So jy beter perform. So ja, ek dink dit was so cool ervaring. Ons het ver verloor, dit was sleg, maar vir die res was dit regtig 'n cool, om dit te kon beleef. Dit is 'n groot voorreg.
Absoluut fantasties. En natuurlik laas jaar in Liverpool was dit ook die Netball Wêreldbeker. En vir ons as Suid-Afrikaners was dit nogal 'n moeilike ding om te sien hoe ons ongelukkig nou nie deurgegaan het na die finaal toe nie. Maar vertel ons 'n bietjie oor daai ervaring. Hoe spesiaal was dit en die mense wat jou geondersteun het in daai pad in die Netball Wêreldbeker? Hoe spesiaal was dit vir jou?
Yes, nee, ek moet sê soos dit was nogals regtig een van die hoogtepunte. So ek weet nie of almal weet nie, maar net so 'n bietjie agtergrond, so Suid-Afrika Netball Suid-Afrika, die Proteas is nie professioneel nie. So ons doen dit glad nie, soos ons word nie betaal om dit te doen nie, maar die laaste 4 jaar het ons afrigter van Australië gekom en sy kom uit 'n agtergrond wat als professioneel is. So ek wil sê soos ons as spelers het regtig ingekoop op daai idee. Ek was bevoorreg genoeg om by Sport Science Lab te oefen, soos ek al vir jou gesê het. Maar ja, ek dink nie, dit is soos groot opoffering. En soos sê maar, ons het met 2 doele verloor teen die wêreld se nommer 1. So Australië doen dit professioneel, dis letterlik hulle werk om netbal te oefen en netbal te speel. En hier kom ons, ek wil amper sê amateur span, en ons, hulle was letterlik senuweeagtig. Dit kon net so aan die ander kant gegaan het. Ons het gewens, so kan die volgende dag weer teen hulle speel, want dit is hoe naby 2 doele in netbal is letterlik niks. Dis soos 1 fout en 'n afgooi, dan is jy gelyk. So ja, ek dink net die hele ondervinding, en ek moet sê, soos dis baie lekker geweest, die respek van al die lande, soos ons sal in die hotel loop en dan sê Nieu-Seelandse afrigter, sy was letterlik op die punt van ons stoel. Dan is ek soos, wel, ek dink ons ouers, ons almal was op die punt van die stoel, dies wat nie op die baan was nie, maar ja, ek dink net soos dit was baie lekker om internasionaal erkenning te kry en om soos of daai respek te kry, soos ons het hard gewerk daarvoor en al is ons nie noodwendig professioneel nie, professioneel beteken maar net ons kry nie geld soveel soos die ander lande nie, maar ek dink hoe ons opgetree het, hoe ons geoefen het, hoe ons voorberei het, hoe ons onsself gedra het as vrouens in sport was professioneel. En ja, om daai erkenning te kry, en selfs as die ondersteuning van Suid-Afrika. So ons speel oor see, en die mense van die huis af, soos hulle moet vroeg opstaan, hulle gee nie eens om nie, almal die boodskappe, dit was net ongelooflik, die hele ondervinding van hoeveel ondersteuning ons gehad het. Dit voel vir my mense was opgewonde oor netbal in ons land en dit is so cool want ek dink sport het so half daai manier om mense te laat saam staan. Mandela het ons altyd gesê sport het half die manier om mense saam te laat trek en in een rigting, ek wil amper sê, te beweeg en dit voel vir my soos met hierdie wêreldbeker het ek 'n deel van dit ervaar. So dit is regtig 'n groot voorreg en so lekker. Ek wens ons kon in die final speel, maar dit het nou nie so uitgewerk nie, maar dit was regtig 'n goeie ondervinding.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. And I think for many of us as South Africans, just watching us get so close was such a special moment. And to be honest, in the greater scheme of things, all of us were incredibly proud of the amazing way that you ladies carried yourself, but also your great performance on the field as well. And then after that, we saw you retire from the sport of netball. And one of the things that I know that you're doing behind the scenes, as you've been giving back to the sport of netball in so many incredible ways, in terms of coaching, in terms of mentoring young ladies. How important is that part for you as a former athlete to then give back to the sport?
It just feels to me that I'm in such a great position at the moment. I've played for 12, 13 years for the Proteas, and I've played under some of the best coaches, and I've gained so much experience through my journey, and even through mistakes I made, I've learned, and I don't want everyone to make the same mistakes if they can learn from me, from my own experience. So it feels like I've really lived through all of that, and I just want to give it back. So yes, I've been coaching for a while, and I'm really blessed to be in a situation where I can actually give back. So after I've retired with the World Cup, I actually joined forces with Sports Science Lab with Neil Duplessis, and we kind of do a package where we commit to a school for more than once. So it's really nice because I told him what frustrates me is you go to a school but you only see them once, and do you really make a difference? Yes, you do. You contribute to whatever they are planning to do, but do you see the progression? Do you see they're struggling with this and fix it? So that's one of the things that's really close to my heart is like you want to commit to a school or commit to a team or kids or players and really walk the journey with them, see what they're struggling with and help them with that. So I'm really passionate about netball, as you would know. And I just feel blessed that I get the opportunity to actually share what I've gained over the last 13 years and even before that from playing from school. I think I've coached from my first year, so it's just nice to actually, it feels like I don't miss netball that much because I'm still part of netball, even though I'm not playing myself. I can still see, I would have done that. Did you see that? And I want to help the players to also see that. So I feel really blessed that I can actually do something that I'm so passionate about.
Oh, that's absolutely special. And of course, looking at that passion, I know that you are currently the brand ambassador for one of the local tournaments in terms of grassroots development in the country, and that is the Stallion Sport, the Stallion Sport Premier Netball League that is being hosted in South Africa. I know that the COVID-19 pandemic put a little bit of a halt to the plans, but I know once everything gets back, you guys will be involved. How important is such tournaments for you?
I just think, like I mentioned earlier, so we're not professional in our country, and Stallion Sport, one of the main aims for them in that league is to actually get the players to get paid for playing netball, and that really gets me excited because sometimes I feel like if you're a guy and you're growing up, you can actually dream that you can play rugby and that's your job. But with us, you kind of have to plan your career around playing, and I think that would be one of the nicest things if girls in school can actually think, okay, I want to play netball as a career, and then from them, make enough money so I can actually provide for my kids. I think that is really exciting. And also one of the things we always say as netball players is we need more exposure and we need more game time. And this Stallion Sport Premier League is really the opportunity for that, to actually just get the girls. We have the talent. You mentioned how well we did with the World Cup. So it's really exciting to think that we can compete with the best in the world. So talent-wise, our players in our country don't have to stand back for anyone. And we just want to empower the players to give them more game time to actually use those talents. And play the best netball they can. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Very true. And one of the things that South Africa has always had throughout every single sporting code is definitely talent. And I think looking at the landscape in terms of women in sports in South Africa, I mean, looking at the amazing performance from the netball ladies at the World Cup in Liverpool, Banyana also qualifying for their first FIFA Women's World Cup in France last year. And then we also saw the Proteas cricket team also play so well in the semi-final just in February this year. In terms of women in sports in South Africa, we are doing well, and in terms of international performances, we're definitely getting there. But from your experience as a player now being involved behind the scenes in the sport, do you think we are doing enough to support women in sports in South Africa?
I think we'll also always answer we can do more, in the sense that if you look at let's say the rugby captain, and I ask you the name of the Protea netball captain, most people will think, okay, let me just go and Google that. So I think exposure-wise, we can actually do more. And I think with this World Cup, it was a great start, but it shouldn't end there. And even with the Banyana or the Protea cricket team, it shouldn't stop there. From there on, we should just keep on building on it. And I think it's a great opportunity for young girls in school to actually have role models. I remember growing up, and one of my heroes was Corne Krieger or Jonty Rhodes, or like cricket or rugby players, because I didn't see any sport women actually performing or being brilliant in their talent. So I think this is a really exciting time for young women actually to have women role models. But yes, with that, we need more exposure. We need them on television. We need them we need the kids to get to know the players and to learn from them. So yes, I think we can actually do more. Yeah, that's a good start, but we can still do more.
Oh, definitely. And of course, one of the most amazing things, at least for our generation, is the fact that you are that lady for us. I mean, we look at you, we look at the amazing amount of years that you've had, we look at your passion on the field. You are that hero for us. And I know that there are so many young ladies that are dreaming of playing at that level. Daar's soveel jong dames wat dink dat weet jy wat, eendag wil ek so goed soos Erin Burger wees. Wat sal jy vir daai jong dames sê wat op hierdie stadium dalk in laerskool of dalk hoërskool is en hulle kyk op na jou en hulle wil dalk in 'n wêreldbeker speel?
Ja. Eerste dankie. Ja, ek dink as ek vir iemand net kan motiveer, eerste is droom groot, soos weet waarvoor jy werk. As jy weet wat jy wil bereik, dan is dit maklik om gemotiveerd te wees vir dit. En dan, ja, soos ek nou gesê, talent alleen gaan jy nie daar kry nie, jy gaan met hard werk. So, droom groot, werk hard en ja, moet nie laat enige terugslag jou droom van jou wegvat nie. Dis dalk net vir jou nog 'n hekkie om oor te kom en dan is jy nog sterker en nog beter. Dis maar deel van hoe ons groei. So ja, moenie opgee met een hekkie nie. Gaan oor, gaan deur, gaan om as jy moet. Maar jy kry 'n manier. So ja, hulle moet groot droom en hard werk.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Erin Burger, I just simply want to thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. But most importantly, I want to thank you for the amazing 12 years of service that you have given to South African sport. The work that you've done behind the scenes, on the court as well, really speaks for itself. And we look forward to seeing the amazing work that you will do in terms of developing the young talent in this country. Thank you so much for being such a great ambassador for South Africa. And many young people are looking up to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the compliment, and it's an honor still, so thanks so much.